Hey guys, welcome back. We are on the last step of building your foundation of your business plan. This is the last step of tier 1, so great job on making it this far. Now, this is the lesson where we're gonna put all of this into action, and we're gonna talk about setting goals. Now, you guys need to know, I love setting goals. I'm a very goal-oriented type of person, and so regularly throughout the year, I'll set different goals that I wanna hit in different areas of my life. Now, a couple of years ago, I set a pretty big goal. I was actually pregnant with my son, Carter, who's my oldest son. And whenever I was pregnant with him, I had this idea. The country music half marathon was gonna fall exactly 12 weeks after I was due to have him. And I thought, hey, what a great idea. Training for this marathon would be a great way to lose the baby weight and get back in shape. So I set this pretty big goal of not only running the race, but in running the race in under 2 hours. Now, y'all, this is 13.1 miles. And I'm right on the line of being a 2-hour half marathon runner. If I train really well and I have great running conditions, then I can break 2 hours. But if I don't train well, or I have any setbacks or bad weather or, have any problems, I'm probably not gonna hit 2 hours. So it's always a toss-up on if I can break that number. Now, here's why that number is so important. Our company, the leadership team at Ramsey Solutions, is very generous. They actually make an offer that if you break 2 hours, they will give $1,000 to a charity of your choice. Now, I have a charity that I love, Young Life, which is where I actually met the Lord, and I've been a huge fan and volunteer of this ministry for years. So the opportunity to earn $1,000 for my favorite ministry, y'all, this is a big deal. This was a huge opportunity. So I signed up for the race when I was in my 3rd trimester, and I thought, I'm totally gonna do this. I know I can train hard and I'll make it happen. Well, after things didn't exactly go as planned with having my son, like life tends to happen, I had some setbacks. And that meant that I had a much shorter training window than I anticipated. But I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna go for it. I had less time to train, but I was gonna give it everything I had. So I trained well, I was feeling good, but still not confident I could break 2 hours. Well, on race day, the weather was perfect. I was like, I've got everything I need. I'm gonna go for it. So I started out. Of course, adrenaline was pumping at the first few miles of the race. I was feeling good. I was like, okay, I can do this. Well, after a couple bathroom stops and then taking some selfies with my son and my husband on the sidelines, I looked at my clock. And y'all, for the last few miles, I had to hit exactly 9 minutes a mile. Now, normally that wouldn't be a big deal, except the end of the race is the hilliest here in Nashville. And already, my legs were so heavy. I was barely hanging on at that point, so I had no idea if I could do it. But I was gonna go for it. So mile after mile, y'all, I was obsessively watching my watch. 1 mile after another, I was getting closer and closer and doing the math in my head of exactly what I needed to do to break 2 hours, and it was going to be right on the line. Well, I get to mile 11, and I hit this hill that goes up by the Municipal Auditorium here in Nashville, and it goes on for as far as your eyes can see. Y'all, I felt like I was gonna throw up. My legs were heavy. I couldn't even feel them. They felt like bricks. I was like, okay, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going and see what I can do. Well, before long, I looked at my clock and realized I had less than a minute to make it to the finish line. Now, I could see the finish line, but it was still a ways away, over a hill and through the huge stadium here in Nashville. And this is the point at which I dug deep, and y'all, I gave it everything I had. I started to sprint. I literally could not feel my legs, but I was like, I'm gonna sprint until I cross the finish line. So I picked it up, I gave it everything I had, flying down the finish line, finally crossed the timing pad. Thank you, Jesus, stopped my watch. And y'all, do you wanna know what the time was? 1:59:55:54. Y'all, I broke 2 hours. Now, of course, after I picked myself up off of the ground, I just waved to all of my adoring fans, amazed at how I could accomplish such a feat, which of course did not exist because no one really cared that I broke that time, nor they knew. They probably just wondered why some crazy lady literally flailed her body across the finish line at 2 hours like an Olympian going for the gold. But y'all, I didn't care. I did it. I broke 2 hours and got $1,000 for Young Life. But looking back, if I'm honest, and I mean really honest with you, it wasn't all about the race, the time, or even the money raised for charity. That accomplishment was about me. I was so proud of that particular half marathon because I did something I didn't think I could do. I overcame some huge obstacles to achieve a really difficult goal. And that's the power of goals. Goals push us and stretch us. They hold us accountable and they enable us to accomplish things we didn't think were possible. Now, I want you to remember, we've talked about your dream, and your dream says, I want. Your vision says, I am. Your mission statement says, I exist to, but goals are different. Goals say, I will. This is what you're going to do about it. This is where you take action. Goals light a fire under you to get moving in the direction of your dreams. That's why the last step in Tier 1 of building the foundation of your plan is to set some goals. Goals make all of those other things possible. They make your dream and your vision and your mission statement real and tangible and concrete. They're also the discipline that keeps you on track. I love how my friend Christine Kane says, vision will inspire you, but discipline will get you there. And that's what we're talking about in this lesson, the discipline of goals. We started with your why, and then your dream, and then your vision, and then your mission statement for a reason. Those things inspire your goals. If you go out and just set some random goals because your friend's doing it, or your neighbor's doing it, or your spouse says you should do it, you won't actually complete them. Your goals need to have certain qualities. And the reason that we set those other things first is they give life and breathe life into your goals. If you set your goals before your why or your dreams or your vision or your mission statement, your goals have no soul. They won't have that deep conviction that comes from doing those things first. However, when your goals are birthed from the dream in your heart, you have a deeper conviction to actually make it happen. Your goals are no longer a nice idea. They're the roadmap to making that dream a reality. Goals get you to where you want to be. And what they do is this. They take your vision and they break it down into bite-sized pieces. They give you direction. They give you tangible results. And they give you this pride and satisfaction as you accomplish them. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love to check things off lists. It seems that we humans are wired for progress. We love to see, what we've accomplished, how far we've come. I live and die by my to-do list, and I'm sure you do as well. In fact, I love my to-do list so much that sometimes I will do things in my day that weren't on my list, and I will go back to my to-do list and I will write them down just so I can check them off. I know you think I'm crazy. You do the same thing. Here's the thing. No matter what we're doing, we like to see what we've accomplished. We like to look down the hill or look at the checked off boxes on our to-do list and feel that pride and satisfaction of actually making progress. When you do that, when you check things off your list, you get that fulfillment of having made progress. And having goals allows you to do that. It keeps you motivated and keeps you moving forward. Now, I've seen in my coaching and even in my own life that a lot of people think they're setting goals when they're not. Many times we use the word goals interchangeably with other words like resolutions or dreams or wishes or habits. But y'all, goals are different. So let's talk about that. For example, you might say something like, my goal is to grow my business. Well, let's talk about that. You might have a New Year's resolution to grow your business. You might wish to grow your business. You might desire or dream to grow your business, but you don't have a goal to grow your business because goals have specific qualities, and I want to talk about those. There are 6 qualities that make a goal an effective goal, a strong goal, a goal that you can actually achieve. So let's talk about what those are. First, your goals need to be specific. They've got to be actually specific about what you're going to do. You want to grow your business, but how? You haven't specified how you want to grow your business. So ask yourself that question. If you start with the desire to grow your business, how do you want to grow your business? Maybe you want to grow it by revenue, or you want to hire team members, or you want to have more Facebook likes, or you want to have more customers. You can grow it any way you want to, but you get to determine what your measure of success is. So the first quality of good, strong goals, effective goals, is that your goals must be specific. So let's pick an example. Let's say I want to grow my business by revenue. I want to increase my revenue of my business. Okay, now you're one step closer to creating a goal. The second quality that your goals must have is they must be measurable. So if your goal is to grow your business in revenue, you still don't have any way to measure that. There's no way to know, are you reaching it or not? There's no measure of success where you can track your progress. And like I said, we're wired for progress. So in addition to being specific, your goal must be measurable. You want to grow it by revenue? Well, how much? How much do you want to grow it? Let's say by 50%. So now you're one step closer to creating a strong goal. Instead of, I want to grow my business, now your goal is, I want to grow my business by 50% in revenue next year. And that brings me to the next quality of great goals. Goals must have a time limit. When do you want to complete this goal? In my marathon example, I had exactly 12 weeks to train for the marathon. And then the other goal of race day, I had exactly 2 hours to complete 13.1 miles. Whatever your time limit is up to you, but you want to set a deadline. If not, it's never going to happen. Having a time limit also lights this fire under you to get moving, to actually make the thing happen. It allows you to track your progress to know if you're on track to hit it. So let's take this example of growing your business. Your idea of, I want to grow my business, might sound like this. My goal is to grow my business by 50% in revenue next year. So then, December 31st of next year is your goal. If you know how much you earned in revenue this year, you know how much you need to increase it by 50% next year. So your goals need to be specific, measurable, and have a time limit. Those are the 3 qualities that goals must have. But there are 3 other qualities that will make goals really work for you. And these are important because you're much more likely to achieve them if you have these 3 qualities. So let's talk about those. The 4th quality your goal must have is it must be yours. It's interesting because I've seen in my own life that when someone has something awesome going on, my next thought is, oh, I should do that. I was in small group and one of my friends mentioned that this year his goal was to read 30 books and he was on track for it. Do you want to know what my next thought was? I should read 30 books this year. No. I'm traveling, I'm speaking, I have 1,000 things going on, not to mention 2 babies. This is not the life stage for me to be reading 30 books this year. It's a great idea, and I love to read, but this is not the season for me to set that goal. That's his goal. So instead, I want you to ask yourself, what is your goal? What do you want? What's a deep conviction in your heart that you want to achieve? What is something that you want bad enough and you're willing to work hard enough? If they're yours, if they're truly from your heart and your desire, you'll actually achieve them. If they're not, you won't. You won't want it bad enough and you won't work hard enough. So if you want to have goals that really work for you, they need to be yours. Now, in addition to making sure that your goals are yours, they also need to be in writing. When you write something down, it's powerful, it's tangible, it's in the real world outside of the battlefield of your mind. It keeps you on track and keeps you motivated in the direction of actually attaining it. So make sure that in addition to being yours, they need to be written down. And finally, your goals need to be realistic. Maybe you have a limited amount of time, or you're in a season of life where things are crazy. Whenever you set smart goals and you take into consideration any limitations you have, it's not settling. It's smart. I want to set you up to win. So when your goals are realistic, you're that much more likely to win and achieve them. Now, once you've set a strong goal and it's specific, it's measurable, it has a time limit, it's yours, it's in writing, and it's realistic, I want you to do one more thing with it. I want you to make it even more attainable by breaking that down into weekly micro goals. Now, here's what I mean by that. Stay with me here. Micro goals are smaller goals. They're like little tasks that help you accomplish your larger goal. So when you take these big goals and break them down into smaller tasks, it's pretty rewarding. It's that to-do list, right? Where you're checking things off and you're getting this sense of satisfaction. It allows you to cross those items off as you make progress, which leads to more progress. And then your goal gets closer and closer. It starts to become a reality instead of just a wish. For example, when I was writing my book, I had this huge goal to turn in 100,000 words. Well, that sounds overwhelming to anyone. But then when I broke that down into monthly word count goals and then weekly word count goals and then daily word count goals, it wasn't so overwhelming anymore. I knew exactly how many words I needed to turn in per day towards my big goal of turning in an entire book. And day at a time, and then a week at a time, and then a month at a time, y'all, the book was written, but it didn't happen overnight. I just wanted to accomplish that micro goal. Now, it may be easy to look at someone like me that is doing all of these things that I love to do, or maybe someone else that you follow and admire, maybe a celebrity or someone in the news and in the media and think, oh, they just woke up overnight. Their dreams just happened, in an instant. But it doesn't happen like that. And you know that from your experience as well. What I'm doing today, which hopefully is just the beginning of this movement of women stepping into their God-given gifts, I hope it's just the beginning, but it didn't start here. It just started with a girl in her mid-20s nervously saying her dream out loud to her girlfriends on the beach. But then, as I took that dream and I owned it and I wrote it down, things started to happen. I created a vision of where I was going and how I was going to get there. Then I put it into action. I made plans. I set goals. I started to take more and more steps in the direction of my dream. I signed up for online classes. I did assignments and classwork after I got home from my real job and on the weekends. I read books. I listened to sample coaching calls on my headphones while I was walking my dog. I practiced. I highlighted pages and pages in my textbook. I filled out coaching plans and forms. I set up a website. One at a time, I got clients. With every tiny step that I took, the momentum grew, and with it, my confidence grew as well. And now, years later, I get to live my dream. And the same is true for you. So set strong goals. Create your to-do list of micro goals and then get going. If you want it bad enough and you're willing to work hard enough, I promise you, you'll eventually get to where you want to be. And in many cases, even further. Now, the action step for this lesson is to write down 3 goals for your business using the qualities that I described. I want you to write these down in the academy. Now that you've identified your why, your dreams, your vision, your mission statement, and your goals, you have laid the entire foundation for your business. Congratulations, you have finished Tier 1. Now it's time to move on to Tier 2, where we will help you make your business yours.